Control your rage and your anger for real, lethal confidence. I thought it might be important to share with you how I approach getting angry, rage, and anger. I've had so many people tell me, Bart, I just can't see you getting angry. Or my favorite, Bart, I can't get you mad or angry. In fact, I would feel guilty if I tried. You see, someone with lethal confidence is so busy helping themselves and others with positive outward efforts that they don't have time to get angry. They see the future and prevent opportunities to get angry. And when someone in their presence is angry or upset, your calming, soothing tone, like the one you're hearing, and patient solutions always helps calm others down. Life goes on, and you look like the hero who turned a moment of lemons into lemonade. So incorporate these attributes, which I'm going to get into your character, and see how they serve you when dealing with anger, rage, and others around you who like to yell and scream when you don't. Because your lethal confidence can, might, and will ignite other people into their own quiet rage because you're living out your dreams and they're not. I mean, I've told you before, there are people that are our enemies because we have lethal confidence. It may evoke anger and rage and who knows. And even for yourself internally. And I have to say, I'm at peace, like 24/7. If somebody gets mad or this or that, I say, what's wrong? Well, let's work on it. Well, Bart, didn't I make you angry? No, because I was distracted. I was doing stuff over here when you tried to do that. And, sure, I felt it, like, a car whisking by and you feel the wind, or something. I've heard it, but what do you want? And then you kind of appear aloof and that catches them off guard. Well, I yelled at you. I screamed and yelled. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, and just a few quick insights about people and anger. I understand very clearly that those who hurt on the inside hurt others on the outside. So it's kind of like, I know why they're being mad on me because they're frustrated. They're upset. They're something. And, on one hand, I'm not going to really hold it against them, for trying to make me mad. I just understand that they're going through a moment and I just have to be patient. And I exercise that patience until they're through with their yelling, and then I go, do you feel better? And also they say, well, didn't I hurt you? Didn't I make you mad? I says, I have to be honest with you. I make the world's greatest chocolate chip cookies. I'm not kidding. Bart'sCookies.com. I have eaten upwards of 10,000 chocolate chip cookies in my entire lifetime. I have so much sugar that has been run through my body, so much chocolate. I am just on this forever, 24/7, 365 Ethernet high of chocolate. And, oh, you got me mad? Oh, should I respond? How do I react to that? Oh, we'll get it worked out. Yeah, no problem. I'm going to get back to my chocolate chip cookie bowl for dinner that I'm having right now. Yum, yum, yum. So I have this completely, I was going to say warped. I have this completely warped mindset that I'm operating with because I'm thinking about, in fact, I'm going to be making chocolate chip cookies in about 30 minutes. So even right now, there's this huge smile on my face. So you can try to make me mad, but I'm sure it's you. I'm sure you're hurting on the inside. And I got a lot of chocolate on my mind. So what's up? What do you need? Yeah? Okay. All right. Just a little insight there. Laugh if you will. I am. Start by not being argumentative, dramatic, or confrontational at all. Be known for keeping your cool and a cool head about you. Always. Admit when you're wrong and take responsibility for your actions and words. That can go a long way to resolving conflict sooner than later. Hey, I'm sorry, you're right, my fault. I don't want this to escalate into something bigger than it should be. I will take full responsibility for this, and again, I'm sorry. Think twice before you speak. Listen first, think next, talk less or not at all. Listen some more, and then get out of there. Remember, you don't have to express every thought that's running through your brain. No, remember, don't do that. Speak in a soft and controlled voice. When anyone looks back on the conversation, they'll remember you never raised your voice and you spoke in a soft, respectful tone that almost requires the other person to have to lean in to hear you. Yeah. Listening can calm almost any aggressive situation faster than talking back and forth over each other. Yeah, well, how to... No, just listen. Listen more, talk less. When you do speak, choose your words carefully and in a direction that resolves the issue and doesn't prolong it or promote it. Consider the other person's point of view. Okay, I can see where you're coming from. You know what? I can see where you're coming from. And that would make total sense. I am so sorry. Let's go to dinner. I'm just kidding. Walk in their shoes. See their side of things. What's going on in their mind, in their world, in their life, in their heart. Embrace their perspective. Gain insight and respond accordingly. I can see your point of view. I can see why you think that. Tell you what, why don't we agree to, and then see if that will solve everything, and then, we won't argue anymore. All right, great. We've come to a resolution. Excellent. Sometimes it doesn't matter if you're right or if you win, but how the other person feels after the argument is over. Do they feel better? Respected? Are they going to be okay? You just want to get out of the argument unscathed and with as little damage done as possible to you, your relationship, and even the place you're at. Hey, I don't want any wine bottles thrown against the wall, I don't want any messes to clean up. Besides, fighting never gets you anywhere, except possibly in more trouble. Try to set your emotions aside and tackle the real issues. How can you resolve what's being discussed so everyone wins? If you haven't anything nice to say, best just to keep it to yourself. Really. Don't say things you might regret later. Bite your tongue. What you do is you bite it long enough so you can leave the room. And then when you're alone somewhere in a car or your house or something, go out to a big empty field, and scream your lungs out. Oh my God, I'm going to call that person every name in the book, but they're not around to hear it. So you got it out of you. It's like journaling, journaling out loud, but no one's around. Admit you made a mistake if you did. Own up to it. Take responsibility. Hey, I am so sorry. You're right. I should have. How can I make it up to you? You name it. Never let anyone see you lose your temper. It can come back to haunt you later. Stay calm, cool, and collected. Remember, once you lose your temper and you yell and scream at people, they can never, ever get that episode off their minds forever. Is that what you want? Or take a few seconds and just bite your lip and ride things out. That's the best thing in the long run. And you know what? Dramatize that. Just, what are you doing? Well, I want to say these really mean things to you, but I'm holding my breath and biting my tongue and my lip. Turn a little humor into it. You can do that. You can bring humor into, conflict. It does work. Keep your cool. Go for a long walk. Listen to calming music. Eat some chocolate. Do not drink alcohol. Go work out. Write an angry note to the other person to blow off steam, yes, but then destroy it and delete it if you typed it in your computer or on your phone. Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. Write this really long letter and get it all out. Just pour it all out of you. And then when you're ready to send it, hit the delete key. Keep the other person wondering how you're feeling because you hit the delete key. You didn't send it, which they'll never know because you're not going to tell them. Leave the room after you let the other person speak their mind and they're done yelling at you. Separating yourself from a situation by showing people your back and not your rage takes strength and lethal confidence and does wonders to shut them up. I was attacked once, myself, verbally, and unnecessarily. In the moment, the heat of the moment, I chose to let the other person just throw their verbal daggers at my heart for like 10 minutes straight. Seemed like an hour. I said nothing the whole time. I just listened and kept my eyes focused on them. Well, when they were done and exhausted from their yelling, I asked, "Is it my turn?" They replied, "Yes." I replied, "Great. I want to leave. Goodbye." I left that person stumped out of their mind. I didn't want to throw more wood on that verbal fire. Not at all. Instead, I tossed one huge ice cube on their verbal flames and put it out in a split second. To this date, years later, that other person is feeling like dirt and the bottom of your shoe, while I'm remembered as the calm one who just asked to be excused after taking all that abuse. You can do a lot more to another person with your silence than you can with any degree of revengeful rage in response. Try it sometime. Practice kindness, courtesy, politeness, and sensitivity for the other person's feelings and the issues at hand. Rational thinking, logical solutions, compromising, and seeing the other's point of view works wonders every time. Live as though what you say and do will be remembered forever, because they will be. You're in control of you. You can either let people remember the bad episodes that you espoused, or the quiet, soft voice you chose to use to communicate with the other, more yelling party. How you react to a heated situation will be a mark on your life, good or bad. The other person will remember your words, which can and will be used against you, and they will. You can count on it. Keep your cool. Walk away. But don't yell, scream, fight, or claw. Don't give them the satisfaction. And what's more, as you exercise restraint, calmness, soft-spoken voice, etc., and the other person yelling, screaming, and that goes on for like a period of time, 3 months, 6 months, a year, you've got all the evidence to say, you know what? This is just not working out. I can see you have some issues, and I would like to leave. Goodbye. I mean, it's as a matter of fact as that. It's just clean cut. Revenge always leads to remorse. Past deeds, good and evil, can never be erased, some never forgotten or forgiven. What comes around goes around. This is my favorite. That said, let the world be someone else's teacher and not you when and if you are ever hurt by this other person. Let the world be their teacher. Okay? Yes, do protect yourself, your heart, your property. You're entitled to defend yourself. But do not retaliate against someone in spite or to seek revenge. No. Instead, let the world, their own life, and others to come across them and their path of, lack of control, yelling, screaming. Let life and the world be their teacher and disciplinarian when they act up again. Because, chances are they are going to act up again. Remember my saying, we're not paid to be people's therapists. So let the world take care of them and that chore for you. Besides, you've got better things to do. Your lethal confidence is taking you places that these people just can't go. So forget about them and get back to your projects, business at hand, dreams, whatever, you name it, and so forth. So I bring this up, conflict, dealing with conflict, rage, anger, control yours. Because as you do, and I can imagine it right now. I can imagine somebody saying, Bart, I used to really fly off the handle. I let it rip. I thought that was natural. But the way you've painted this picture of wanting to leave the scene with no evidence of your yelling, your contributing to the fire, the aggravations, the animosity, the discontent. No, you're soft-spoken. There's no record. You were kind and polite. You tried to contribute and be the best you could be, but it's just not working out. So through natural instincts and obvious notification, you're able to say, hey, this just isn't working out. I'm going to leave. And that's something we all try to strive for. We want people in our lives that are good to us, treat us with respect. We try to set boundaries. We try to tell people how to interact with us. Like, hey, I don't like that kind of behavior. Please. I'm a mellow person, kind of calm. I don't like that high-strung, I don't like it. It makes me feel bad. And I don't want it for you either. So let's be in agreement that whenever we have a disagreement or we're about to argue, here's what we do. Because we all know arguing is short-lived. It's like a fast thunderstorm that just sweeps in and just drops a lot of rain and then leaves and the blue sky is back, but you've got flooding left behind, And so here's the deal. Whenever we argue, and what are we talking about? A couple in a relationship? Are we talking about parents and kids? It doesn't matter. Here's a tip. Whoever is the strongest person in the arguing party, let's say there's two people, and for this sake, let's say we got a man and a woman. Gentlemen, I'm going to give you this tip. The woman comes at you. She's kind of, all, I want you to drop to your knees. And I'm serious. I've done this before. This works so well. It's so awesome. Drop to your knees and say, yes, honey. Well, I want to talk with you. Yeah, go ahead. And you're looking up at her and she's looking down at you. Like, you're kind of like a child, but at any moment you could actually just grab her legs while you're on your knees and turn her upside down and throw her on the floor and you guys start making, that's another one of my books. But the point is you've diffused any kind of heat or aggression. So what happened here? Well, officer, as soon as we started arguing, he got on his knees. He what? Yeah, he got on his knees and I kept yelling at him. Oh, that's interesting. Yes, sir, officer. I was on my knees. I let her speak her mind, and I just kind of was there on my knees, and I wanted to hear her out. I wanted to diffuse and deflect all the physical threats that she might think would come from this arguing. By me being, a foot taller than her and 100 pounds heavier than her, much stronger than her. I just diffused all that and got on my knees. And then what happened was she kind of felt I didn't want to argue. And she felt I was there to hear her out. But then she realized, well, you actually are being real sweet about it. And now I feel guilty that I got mad. Well, don't feel guilty. What was it that got you mad? Let's talk about it. I don't want you getting mad again. And let's just take precautions to make sure that doesn't happen again. All right, well, it looks like everything's fine here. All right, you all have a nice day. Thank you, officer. Okay, honey, now that I'm still on my knees, can you come down to the floor too, and then we can talk about what we're going to do tonight, and oh, sorry. See, you just want to diffuse the arguments so you can get back to living a happy, fun life filled with joy, happiness, fun, satisfaction. Can you just sense the smile on my face saying this stuff? That's what I'm talking about. So, as best you can, work on your lethal confidence by controlling your rage and your anger and helping others to do the same. When you do that, and I've been in situations where I've had to kind of be the rock and be calm. These other people looked to me afterwards and said, Bart, I'm really glad you were there. Because when this was happening and I was yelling at this person was yelling, and you were witnessing this, you kind of took us both aside and said, hey, there's no need for this. Let's sit down and talk it out. All right? And Bart, it was just your calmness, your vibe of tranquility, peacefulness that just really cooled us both down. And we want to say thank you. So, hey, you're welcome. Now, can we get on with life? Because that's what I like to do. All right, good. So, there you have it. You've been told, control your rage and control your anger for greater lethal confidence.